In this video tutorial, I am going to discuss about nucleotide excision repair, that is NER. Now, before we discuss about any type of DNA repair mechanism, we have to first identify that what kinds of DNA damages are repaired by that particular repair mechanism. So, regarding nucleotide excision repair, so what happens when ultraviolet radiation, this ultraviolet radiation, it interacts with our DNA. There is a formation of pyrimidine dimer. Pyrimidine dimer. What happens whenever in the DNA there is two consecutive pyrimidines are there? Suppose this is one pyrimidine and this is second pyrimidine. This is a DNA. In this double-stranded DNA, when any single strand contains two consecutive pyrimidine, and when the UV radiation, it interacts with the UV radiation, what happens? This pyrimidine and this pyrimidine both binds directly with each other, like this. So, there is a formation of cross link between this pyrimidine and this pyrimidine, and so it is known as pyrimidine dimers. Okay. The most commonly affected pyrimidine is the thymine. So, when two thymines are cross-linked with each other, we call it as a thiamine dimer. This is the most common variety. Purine dimers are rarely seen or not seen. As now this cross-linking is between the same chain, this chain, and both the pyrimidines are affected, we can also call it as a intra-chain cross-link. Intra-chain cross-link. So, this is the one variety of DNA damage which can get repaired by the nucleotide excision repair mechanism. So, this is repaired by NER. The second variety of DNA damage, it occurs because of the smoking. What happens in the tobacco smoke? There is one chemical that is known as benzo(a)-pyrene. It's a benzo(a)-pyrene. Now, this chemical has tendency to bind with the guanine in our DNA. So, what happens when this benzo(a)-pyrene interacts with our DNA? The guanine binds with this benzo(a)-pyrene and forms a benzo(a)-pyrene guanine adduct. Now, this is also a bulky group. Okay. It becomes a bulky, our guanine base becomes bulky. Here also, as two pyrimidines are bound with each other, this thymine dimer or pyrimidine dimer, these are the bulky groups. Okay. So, here also similarly bulky group is seen on the DNA. So, this bulky group, now this damage of DNA is also repaired by nucleotide excision repair. The third type of the DNA damage is because of the reactive oxygen species. Reactive oxygen species, or you can say ROS. Our metabolic process generates so many different variety of reactive oxygen species. These reactive oxygen species are the strong oxidative agents. Okay, so it can cause oxidative damage to the DNA. And this oxidative damage to the DNA is also repaired by nucleotide excision repair. So, these are the three main DNA damages which are repaired by nucleotide excision repair. So, now let us see what is this actual nucleotide excision repair. So, for example, I am taking up this piece of DNA and here I am showing a pyrimidine dimer. It can be anything, okay, but we will take an example of this pyrimidine dimer to understand what is nucleotide excision repair. So, this is the site of DNA lesion. Here the DNA lesion is shown as the pyrimidine dimer as by this box. Now, what happens? In our body there is one special class of enzyme is there. Its name is acinuclease. Now, you must be wondering that what is acinuclease? We had heard the name of exonuclease and endonuclease. Now, what variety of nuclease is this. Okay, so it's an exonuclease. This exonuclease is nothing but special type of endonuclease. Special type of endonuclease. Now, why it is special type of endonuclease? We know that our routine or generally endonuclease puts up only a single cut in the DNA, right? Single cut in DNA. Whereas this exonuclease, it puts up a two cut or double cut, two cut in DNA, and this variety makes it a special type. So exonuclease is nothing but a special type of endonuclease which puts up a two cut in the DNA. So now in E. coli, if we talk about specifically about the E. coli has a ABC exonuclease. Its spelling is different from that of exonuclease, that you have to keep in the mind. Now this ABC exonuclease, what it does is, it puts up a two cut in this DNA, in this defective DNA strand, right? So it puts one cut on the 3' side and second cut on the 5' side of the DNA lesion. So one cut on the 3' side and other cut on the 5' side. But exactly where this cut is, so on the 3' side, from the lesion, it cuts up the 5th phosphodiester bond. So you can see over here, this is the lesion. So this is first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, and this is 5th phosphodiester bond on the 3' side. So one cut is kept over here. On the 5' side, it puts up a cut on the 8th phosphodiester bond. So this is the lesion. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So this is the 8th phosphodiester bond on the 5' side. So second cut is kept over here. So in their endonuclease activity, it is very, very specific. Okay, the number of bond from the site of DNA lesion, it is specific. Now ABC exonuclease, the name is given ABC. The reason is, actually 3 different types of subunits are working in this ABC exonuclease, and those subunits are UVRA, UVRB and UVRC. UVRA is used for the location of lesion. Location of lesion. So UVRA will identify that in this DNA where is the lesion. So it will identify this portion. Once this is identified, then UVRB, it puts up a cut on the 3' side. Cut on 3' side of lesion. And UVRC, it puts up a cut on the 5' side of lesion. So every one of this peptide, its function is fixed. Now what about the human variety of this exonuclease? In case of human, we have special human variety of exonuclease which is made up of 16 subunit. Now it is very much complicated process in the human, so we will not discuss all of the subunit, but the special mention is the XPA protein to XPG protein and XPV protein. So these are the subunits. So XPA, XPB, XPC up to XPG. So that makes total 7 protein, and this XPV 1. These 8 proteins are more important in the human biochemistry. Now what about the cut? In case of human variety of exonuclease, on the 3' side, the cut is made on the 6th phosphodiester bond, and on the 5' side of the lesion, it will count 22 phosphodiester bond, and on the 22nd phosphodiester bond, it puts up a cut. So somewhat larger piece is cut in case of the human and somewhat shorter piece in case of the E. coli. So now let's continue example of this E. coli over here. So this E. coli exonuclease, that is ABC exonuclease, puts up one cut over here and other cut over here. So what will happen? This phosphodiester bond is now broken down. So let's put it into the diagram. So let's paste diagram over here. Okay. So now as you can see, one cut is over here and other cut is over here. Now what do you think? Now this piece of, particularly this small piece of DNA is now separate. It is just bonded with this opposite strand by these weak hydrogen bonds. But still multiples of weak hydrogen bond will not let this piece of DNA to go away. Now some enzyme is required which can break down these hydrogen bonds. So for that, nature had provided us one enzyme, that is helicase. You can also call it as a UVRD, or you can also call it as a helicase 2. Helicase 2. This enzyme will break down these hydrogen bonds from this, and so this piece of DNA will get removed. So let's paste diagram over here. So now what happened? This piece of DNA is removed and the remaining portion looks like this. Okay. Now there is a gap in the single strand of the DNA. So now the process is very simple, just like other repair mechanisms. What will happen? This gap needs to be filled, and it will be filled by DNA polymerase 1. This DNA polymerase 1 is in the case of E. coli. In case of human, it is polymerase epsilon in case of human or eukaryotes. So what will happen? Suppose this is the 5' end and this is the 3' end. Then what will happen? This DNA polymerase 1, it will extend this chain, okay, from the 5' end. It will start extending like this, and last one gap will remain. Okay, all the nucleotide will be added, but the last continuation of the backbone is still missing. Okay, so let's first see the action of DNA polymerase 1. So let's paste diagram over here. So as you can see, DNA polymerase 1 in case of E. coli and polymerase epsilon in case of human has done its work, and so now the last nick is remaining over here, and that needs to get ligated, and that ligation is carried out by the DNA ligase. And so this will be in the continuation, and this is now our repaired DNA. As you can see, this damage is repaired in this end process. So now DNA gets repaired. Now let's look at the applied aspect of this. What will happen if nucleotide excision repair is defective? So applied aspect, the most common disease which can occur because of the defective nucleotide excision repair is the xeroderma pigmentosum. Xeroderma pigmentosum, or you can also call it as a XP. Now in this, as I had already told you, it's a defective nucleotide excision repair. Now in this xeroderma pigmentosum, patient has a skin cancer. Multiple skin cancers are seen. Skin cancer. Now why skin cancer develop in case of defective nucleotide excision repair? The reason is that UV light induces pyrimidine dimer, and which NER is not functioning properly. These pyrimidine dimers cannot get repaired, and so the genome is damaged, and so it may lead to skin cancer. And second thing, this UV light cannot penetrate much in our body, so it can affect only a superficial layer of skin. So only skin cancers are seen. Okay. The second manifestation in case of xeroderma pigmentosum is the progressive neurological deterioration. Progressive neurological deterioration. Now what is the reason of this progressive neurological deterioration? The reason for this is that neurons have a high rate of respiration. Okay, nerve cell, or you can also call it as a neuron, nerve cells has a high rate of respiration. High rate of respiration. And because of high rate of respiration, it has more and more reactive oxygen species. Generally, these reactive oxygen species are not problematic for us. Why? Thanks to our normal nucleotide excision repair. But if it is defective, as seen in xeroderma pigmentosum, this ROS damages the DNA of neuron, and so our central nervous system is affected, and so because of that nerve cells are affected, and so progressive neurological deterioration is seen. Apart from xeroderma pigmentosum, there are two more diseases which can occur because of the defective nucleotide excision repair. One is Cockayne syndrome, and other one is trichothiodystrophy. The Cockayne syndrome, it is much more similar to xeroderma pigmentosum, but in Cockayne syndrome the progressive neurological deterioration is more marked rather than skin cancer. And in case of trichothiodystrophy, where the brittle hairs are seen, So this is all about nucleotide excision repair and various diseases which occur because of the defective NER. If you have any query or confusion, please write it down in the comment section below. Thank you.